Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, right? And you suddenly discover that everything you spent years, maybe even decades learning, can now be done perfectly by artificial intelligence. Welcome back to Digital Mzansi. Today we're bringing you an explainer that explores something way deeper than just employment. We're diving straight into what purpose actually means in the age of AI.
I want you to really put yourself in that scenario. You're sitting there with your morning coffee, you fire up your laptop, and boom, it hits you. The skills you've built your entire career around, they're practically obsolete. A machine can do them in an instant.
And the reality of this is absolutely staggering. We aren't just talking about factory robots replacing assembly line workers anymore. AI can handle your weekly reports, your presentations, your designs, your emails, customer support, even a huge chunk of your creative work. It's doing the thinking.
Now, when you look at a list like that, it's completely natural that your brain immediately hits the panic button and goes to, wait, will I still have a job? It's that immediate economic anxiety, right? How are we supposed to pay the bills if a machine is doing all the actual work?
But honestly, basic employment might not even be the biggest question we need to ask ourselves here. The absolute crucial point is this. If AI steps in and does all the heavy lifting, who do we become? If we aren't defined by our daily grind anymore, what actually defines us?
Part 1. More than just a job.
You know, we all complain about our daily work, but the truth is, it gives our lives a tremendous amount of structure, a routine, and a real sense of contribution. Think about the very last time you met someone new at a braai or a dinner party. What's the very first thing they ask you? So, what do you do? They're really asking for your bank balance. What they're really asking is, who are you? Think about how we introduce ourselves to the world. I'm a teacher. I'm an engineer. I'm a nurse. Notice the language we use there. We literally use the words I am. It's not just something we do. Work quietly, almost invisibly, becomes our core identity. So when those titles are suddenly threatened by automation, we're losing way more than just an income stream. We're losing the answer to the deepest, unspoken question we all harbor inside. Where do I belong in this world?
Part 2. The cognitive shift.
To really figure out where we're headed, we have to understand why this specific moment in time is fundamentally different from anything before it. For most of human history, machines replaced physical labor. The tractor or the factory automated the heavy lifting. They multiplied our physical strength. But AI is a whole different ballgame. For the very first time, a machine is stepping in to perform cognitive work. It's stepping in for human intelligence in writing, research, and programming. Because of that massive, dramatic shift, the entire conversation changes. It flips the script completely. We're no longer asking what machines can build. We are forced to look inward and ask, what remains uniquely ours?
Part 3. Rediscovering why we matter.
Now, there's this utopian idea floating around that AI is just going to do all the hard work and gift us with endless free time. And hey, that sounds like an absolute dream, right? But hold on. We have to ask, free time for what exactly? Human beings don't just need comfort. Sitting on a beach doing nothing forever, that's incredibly boring. Psychologists have noted for years that we thrive when we feel useful. We actively need to feel needed. Without a clear purpose, even total absolute abundance can feel incredibly empty. And there's a really profound tension here. We're going to face this massive temptation of convenience, just outsourcing every difficult problem to an AI. But if we do that, we risk losing craftsmanship. We lose the actual struggle of learning and failing and doing, which is exactly what builds our confidence and character in the first place. If we outsource our struggles, we are literally outsourcing the very things that build our human identity. Which brings us to part 4, the South African question. We absolutely need to ground this in our reality right here in South Africa. For us, these anxieties aren't just some high-level abstract philosophy. They're about surviving in a shifting landscape. Whether you're a young graduate entering the market, a call center employee, a small business owner, a teacher, or a government worker, the stakes here are incredibly high and they are deeply, deeply personal. So, how on earth do we navigate this? Well, history actually suggests a pretty clear path. We win by becoming more deeply human. You know, you literally cannot outcompute a computer. Trying to compete directly with machines on their own terms is a losing game. But what you can do is lean entirely into the humanity that a computer completely lacks.
Part 5. Becoming deeply human. Instead of freaking out over disappearing jobs, we need to completely reframe the question. Let's ask, what kind of work actually deserves a living, breathing human being? Empathy, judgment, leadership, wisdom, moral responsibility, deep relationships, creative vision. These are traits born directly from lived, messy human experience. Sure, an AI might be able to mimic a perfectly polite email, but it absolutely cannot genuinely replicate being human.
So, here's the crucial takeaway from all of this. We are currently living through a monumental shift. We are moving away from this old value system that judged us strictly on our productivity and how fast we could complete tasks. And we are moving toward a totally new value system where we'll be judged by our purpose and the deeper meaning we create in our communities. As AI gets smarter, our most valuable human skill is shifting from productivity to purpose. Every major technological revolution throughout history has changed what people do, but this one might actually change how people understand themselves. If today's explainer got you thinking a little bit differently about your work and your future, well, this conversation is really just getting started. Make sure to hit subscribe to Digital Mzansi so you don't miss out. In our next explainer, we'll be tackling a pretty surprising twist, why the new status symbol of the future won't actually be money. Until then, I want to leave you with a final, provocative thought. Don't just ask what AI can do. Ask what only human beings can become.